Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Architect Connie and welcome to my video of Bomba Sharing News. During this MCO 3.0 period, we have conducted a daily sharing program in various topics. Today, I would like to share again my previous Bomba presentation slide to my friends. I will focus on the overview of the basic fire safety requirement in architecture design, Bomba submissions process up to project management and implementation stage. Basically, I have divided my Bomba video presentation slide into 4 parts. Part 1, overview of the fire incidents and introduction of UBBL. Part 2 and Part 3, concept of the fire safety and UBBL Part 7 and Part 8. Part 4, firefighting inspections. According to UBBL, it defines a purpose group to accommodate different building activity. Therefore, at the beginning of my presentation slide, I would like to show some of the fire incidents based on the different purpose group in Malaysia. In 2018, there was a fire incident in the EPF building at Petaling Jaya. The fire started from the first floor where maintenance work was being carried out. The strong wind and hot weather contributed to the fire spreading to the cladding, quickly spreading to the 6th floor. The use of easily combustible polyfoam cladding was discovered after a fire broke out at this EPF building. It will be the first record case of the fire involving flammable building facade in Malaysia. With these fire incidents, we have responsible to advise the developer and building owner not to select flammable cladding as building facade. Although this material may be cheap, but pose a great risk to the life and property. As an architect, we need to ensure all the building material consist of fire certificates and comply to UBBL requirement. Let's move on to another building type of the fire incident of Sultanah Aminah Hospital, Johor Bahru. The fire broke out at the hospital intensive unit ICU, causing the death of 6 patients and forced 100 others to be evacuated. One of the cause of the incident was due to the burnt capacitor in one of the ceiling light and flammable material placed under the lighting, which caused the fire to spread quickly. This is the layout of the South ICU. The non-compliance with the bylaw 139 requirement in the design specification of the storage room has caused the fire spreading quickly, such the staff did not have sufficient time to evacuate the patient from the South ICU. According to the UBBL, such high-risk areas are required to be designed as a separate fire risk area with full compartments of floor, ceilings, and wall, and including the fire door. The evacuation system of the hospital building is important to ensure that the occupants is protected in the event of fire outbreak. So what are the fire safety design elements for hospital? Usage is to cater the special needs of those who are mobility or physicality handicapped. Refer to UBBL Selangor by law 169. For hospital and nursing home, the corridor and landing shall be designed to accommodate stretches and bed movement. And our design shall provide the horizontal evacuation of bed patient for at least 50% of the total bed patient from the floor concerned. For example, a refuge area to be provided near to the fire escape staircase and fire lift in order to move in the patient bed in the event of fire. Visible indicator alarm signal shall be incorporated in addition to the normal alarm system as stated in the bylaw 241. Let's move on to another fire incident for a small residence purpose group at 2-story terrace house at Persiaran Cempaka Sari, Taman Cempaka Ipoh. For landed housing project, we need to provide party wall in between 2 different housing lots. As we can see on the screen, the party wall serves to prevent the spread of the fire from one terrace house to the next. Moreover, for high-rise apartment building, we need to take into consideration of the compartmentation in fire safety design. The fire incidents will involve 2 units of the 12 floor Bukit OUG condo at Bandar Bukit Jalil were completely destroyed. The floor and wall compartment for each apartment are essential to contain the fire and prevent the fire spread towards the neighboring units. I will elaborate the concept of compartment in detail in the next part of the video. In order to understand more about the fire safety design and overcome the fire hazard in building, we should take a look at the origin of fire. Fire is essentially a chemical reaction known as combustion. As you can see on the screen, there are 4 factors I need to start a fire: fuels, oxygen, heat, and chemical reactions. A fire can be easily extinguished by removing one of the factors inhibiting the chemical chain reaction of the combustion process. For example, we can remove the heat by pouring the water on the fire, or removing the fuels, or cutting off the oxygen supply by using a fire blanket or foam. Let me just run through the 4 stages of the nature of fire. There are 4 stages. The ignition and growth stage is a process in which fuel react with oxygen to get the heat and light. A fire once started can grow rapidly, and it creates the condition of its growth. For example, in an enclosed compartment, such as a apartment unit, a critical stage may be reached where all the combustion material is heated to a flammable concentration of gases, and a fire suddenly flashes throughout the whole compartment unit. This is known as flashover. During the development stage, the fire temperature increases slowly. However, the fire continued to spread into other areas, which then in turn continued the process of the rapid initial growth and development. Consequently, the fire will burn itself out due to lack of the oxygen in the decay stage. UBBL 1984 is a building code which provides the minimum requirement for control and construction of strict drainage and building acts in local authority area. UBBL 1984 is gathered by each state to adopt and enforced by the local authority in a state. For Colombo, Labuan, Putrajaya, and state authority is the Ministry of Federal Territory. There are 9 parts of the building code, which will include the preliminary submission of plans for approval, space, light and ventilation, temporary work, structure requirements, fire requirement, and etc. The UBBL, especially Part 7 and Part 8, describe the minimum requirement to render the building safe for occupants from a fire safety perspective. Part 7 states the fire requirements. It represents the fire passive design, and architect to submit the passive design drawing to the bomber. Or in the other hand, Part 8 highlights the fire alarm, fire detections, fire extinguishment, and firefighting access. It represents the active design. The M&E engineer is responsible to proceed the bomber submissions at this system after our bomber passive drawing has been endorsed by the bomber. Before I move on to the bomber submission process, I have attached the architecture and M&E bomber submission checklist for your info and reference. All the requirements must be complied before it is accepted by the bomber officer. I am now approaching to the end of my presentation. Let me elaborate more about the last slide of the bomber submission process. There are 3 types of bomber submission applications: standard submissions, performance-based approach, PBA, and fire safety design philosophy, FSDP. For the building cover under Schedules 5 UBBL, we will proceed to the standard submission. The step includes architect to submit the bomber passive drawing for approval. Then we pre-consult with the bomber officers, drawing to be amended if there is any comment. After that, architect to submit 3 sets of bomber drawing. If the drawing has been rejected or commended by the bomber officers, architect to revise and resubmit. After the bomber passive drawing approved, engineer to submit bomber active drawing for approval. When all the firefighting system and building was completed, architect to write in to request for bomber inspection. Finally, we can obtain the bomber clearance letter after all the comment from bomber officer has been complied. The architect to issue CCC, which is Certificate of Completion and Compliance, together with the form G8 and G9. G8 is for the passive system, G9 is for the active system. where the building or part of the building has complex design, but cannot be applied to the standard with the UBBL, then we will need to submit performance based to Bomba Putrajaya after approved by the local bomber. The fire engineering performance-based PBA is a methodology for design, evaluations, and assessment safety in building. Performance base can be either partly or fully applied throughout the whole building. As an example, the tall and large high-rise buildings such as KLCC and KL Tower, I will describe it in my next video. And for the fire safety design philosophy, FSDP is the extension of the UBBL by Law 236 special hazard due to the nature of the storage. Trick. Occupancy of sites shall be required to be protected, fixed installation, and special extinguishment as may be required by the bomber. For example, high-risk building, industrial high-risk, chemical, special or unique building. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please refer to my next video sharings. See you in the next videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.